All right, Ephraim, real quick, just a reminder here. We got that as we were talking to Jason Lloyd Boone, that just dropped down for a 5th-round pick. The Browns, who traded for a 5th-round pick to get Kenny Pickett from the Steelers, and then give him up for a 5th-round pick. So that was the biggest waste of everybody's time. And he walked out of it with a bad hamstring. That was the only thing he got out of this. Dang, I got a bad hamstring and some airline tickets. That's all I got to get out.
Well, I mean, not that I'm a.
Anybody say you're a prophet?
No.
Okay.
Prognosticator.
Okay.
But I am 1/18th psychic.
1/18th.
1/18th.
On your mama's side.
Yeah, on my mama's side. But I knew that once Kenny was unable to perform, that he's odd man out, right? We've seen the 3 quarterbacks play. Huntley's gone. He was a stopgap because of the injuries to all quarterbacks except for Flacco. And so we have a saying in the NFL locker rooms, and a lot of sports, professional sports, is the writings on the wall. Like, it's not a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, hold on. Let me jump in here. Because to me, if you were Rob Parker, I would be standing on this table screaming in your face right now. I told you they weren't going to cut this man, and that going on in the Shedeur. Now that Kenny looks like it's Shedeur. I mean, we still got about less than 24 hours. You never know. But that could have been an option. As you sat here next to me the last couple of weeks here, I think Shedeur should absolutely make the team. I think he absolutely has room to grow, but he seems like he could be a quarterback in the NFL. I wouldn't want to cut that guy, and I believe he has more visibly now than Kenny did and the opportunities he got. And so that was an option to cut Dillon or to cut Shedeur. Why not do that?
Well, my whole thing is one of these guys is going to be on the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am not sure what the current rules are about the practice squad, but if you wanted to sign players to the practice squad, you had to release them. They had to clear waivers,
mm-hmm.
and then you can sign them back to the practice squad. Now, it may be different now, but it could come down to, I think if they release him, someone maybe will pick him up.
Someone will absolutely. I
but
firmly
who, though?
believe some. I mean,
now you and you get everything that comes with him, though. So you get everything that comes with him, the good and the bad.
Are you watching the American Team docuseries at all? The Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
Point being, some people are A-okay with fanfare.
Yeah.
Some people are A-okay with just any semblance of relevance and publicity will take it all.
Well, most people aren't. That's why he got drafted in the 5th round.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I think it played a role. I think again, this is why I asked Jason Lloyd, a guest, if you didn't get a chance to see it, check out the podcast. Maybe perceived perception, but what comes with him versus who he really is.
Yeah.
And I think some people aren't able to decipher that because if you come up with the loud music, you got this, you're a little brash, and I'm instead of, oh, gee, golly shucks, sir, I'm happy to be here. If you don't come with that approach, I wonder if
it don't have to be that. But you got to. I kind of stumped him a little bit, and he was like, "That's a good question." When I asked, coming off your question, does he know that there's a lot of work that needs to be done before he's ready to be? That's a real question. If a player doesn't know,
I think he knows, though, because I think from everything we've seen or heard, Ephraim, he has been meticulous, a studier, works hard.
Oh, I'm not questioning his work ethic.
And I think a part of that has to have been because he wasn't as naturally gifted as his dad, like just pure athlete, pure talent. I think he's fully aware of that. And I've had to put in the work, put in the extra time, put in that. So I think you can't do all that, watch film, know all that, and then look at yourself and think,
well, I'm just going off what he said at the end of after that game.
Oh, man, he just didn't want to say he was.
I get it, but reality is reality, and your perception of yourself is not always what the reality of it is. He's carried himself like a first-round draft pick, and he's carried himself like an NFL starter. I don't have a problem with you doing that, but the work must back up the action. That's the problem. Like, I don't know, because everything he's saying all the right stuff. But can he live up to this whole thing that he's created? Now, I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of his family's, the fatherhood, the sons, all of that. I love that. But like I said, the league doesn't care, man.
The league don't care. And ultimately, you and I might be sitting here in 2 years. He might have to go somewhere else to do it.
He may be sitting with us.
Ain't nobody really got a chance, for the most part, to do their thing in Cleveland over the last 2+ decades. So, joined now by former NFL pro That Dude TV on YouTube. Speaking of age, that dude, excuse me, on YouTube. Marcellus Wiley is our guest. What up, man?
Hey, what y'all over there talking about Magic City Mondays and Venus Williams still playing tennis? What the hell going on in this world?
Yeah, what you was having some flashbacks when we brought up Magic City Monday or something?
Oh, that dude.
No, I'm gonna say it. Overrated. It ain't what you think. When you get there, you realize you could have just went home, but you out, and it's a problem.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what.
It's just based on your experiences and all of that. All you're saying is you've experienced something different. So
I'm looking at you had a different experience.
It really. I'm talking about that dude.
Yeah, I'm saying
we're talking to Marcellus Wiley right now, but there's another guy inside of him that's now dormant called that dude.
No, I know. I'm fully aware.
Yo, you know.
Yeah, that dude. Well, man, let's get into this real quick. Put a button on this conversation we've obviously had for some time now throughout the duration of the offseason and the training camp and all that, and then also even on the show today. Your thoughts on Shedeur? I don't even know if you know because it just happened in the last 20, 25 minutes or so. Kenny Pickett being traded to the Raiders. Just your thoughts on what Cleveland's doing at the quarterback position, and then we'll move on to some other stuff.
Yeah, I think it went as it had to go. You brought in Joe Flacco, man, and Joe Flacco of late has hit a renaissance and started to find his mojo again. So all these one-year opportunities, he finds himself off the couch and still leading these teams into better places. So I knew Flacco was going to be the starter. I thought that, Pickett not being healthy basically the entire preseason, he wrote his own ticket out of Cleveland, but maybe to greener pastures in going to Las Vegas. Shedeur and Dillon, I think that the depth chart accurately reflects how they played this preseason. Shedeur played good, but not good enough to surpass anybody on that depth chart. And frankly, Dillon Gabriel played better overall because he read defenses better, anticipated the throws a little better than Shedeur, and didn't have as many negative plays, even though he had one of the biggest with that pick six. He still seemed like he had a better command of the offense than Shedeur. But Shedeur should feel good, man. A fifth-round pick who finds himself on a team. He made the team fifth round. It's hard to make the squad. And then he's going to have a whole year probably to develop and to fix the issues that he has.
Let me ask you a question. We had Jason Lloyd on, and I asked him this question. And he said Shedeur has a lot of work to do. He has time. He has a lot of work to do. And my question to him was, does he know that he has a lot of work to do? Because he carries himself like a first-round draft pick. He's, for me, I see some flaw in his approach. What are your thoughts on that? Does he know that he has a lot of work to do to be successful in this league?
Man, I'm with you. I don't think it's really hit home for him yet. He obviously got humbled on draft day, and, you go from legendary to humbled. I think a lot of times you just hold your breath until you get back on top of that mountain, top of that horse, and then we're going to see the old Shedeur again. And that's not to say you can't have confidence, cockiness, swagger. But in sports especially, you got to be him to be that guy. And if you're not him in terms of performance, like your dad was, Shedeur, then you can't pull that off. And we were talking about it today, man. It's like almost in dating, to generalize. A lot of times the fine girl, the beautiful girl, she can say whatever she wants, and you just going to be like, yeah, but look at her, man, or look, I want to go out with her. But if you ain't looking like that, don't be acting like that. And Shedeur ain't as fine as he think he is in terms of performance. And so it's just really that simple, and I don't know why everybody is acting like they don't know that. Deion had on 98 gold chains, told teams not to draft him, told teams I'm going to be on layaway, I'm going to cost so much, and they still were begging for him. When you him, you can do that. When you ain't, you better not.
Yeah, that's and we talked about that. I mentioned that today. I said he ain't the athlete. His dad was one of them dudes. We gonna overlook everything. I don't give. What did he say? I don't even care. But he is Deion. He's that good. Marcellus Wiley, that dude, our guest. Let me go to some of the maybe. There's some the handful of teams that we're looking at and expecting a lot of things from. Then there's a handful to me who kind of right in that middling place that could have something to say when it's all said and done. A couple teams, like let's say we're all here in Los Angeles. You got the Rams who could maybe say something. Your former team, the Chargers. You got maybe, depending on where you would put the Lions, the Buccaneers. There's a handful of teams that are like, don't forget about us. What are a couple of teams you're looking at saying this season might go very well for them if X goes right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the teams you just said, and I'm excited for the Chargers to find their run-pass balance. Not only rooting for him, but with Herbert, he's a lot. If you get him on track with the running game, which is going to be a lot for this team, they can do some things. It's going to be interesting with the defense they have. That said, I would add, it's crazy. I mean, Washington obviously is going to be in the mix. We got to see how that all plays out. They signed their star receiver today, so that's good. I'm looking at Dallas, man. I'm not going to lie. People always look at you and side-eye you when you say Dallas.
Well, I'm looking at you and side-eyeing you right now. You ain't got to worry about that. Right now as we speak.
They got a roster, and I know it's always drama-filled, and it seems like they're more of a content team than they are actually going out there trying to win a chip. But, dog, they got squad, especially with Dak Prescott back, healthy, all the good stuff. They can do something. We'll see. That division is interesting. As much as I love Philly, you know, you don't know if the belly is full. You don't know if the mojo's back. They lost a lot of offensive linemen over the last couple of years. The people are not really adding up. They lost one this offseason. We'll see how they play in terms of up front for Saquon. But the Dallas Cowboys sneak up in there, man, with all that talent. Sooner or later, it gotta pop.
Man, nobody try to hear that. Just because they paid you a bunch of money, man, that don't mean you just got to die on that sword with them.
Let me finish this documentary. Let me find out he in the documentary.
Right, he in the doc.
Let me figure out that's what it is.
That dude, him in that Ferrari, they pulling up in the Ferrari.
I knew it had to be something.
Well, let me ask you about this. Let me ask you about Russell Wilson and his journey in New York with the Giants, because you know Jackson Dart has had a tremendous preseason, and I know Russell's the starter. But when you got a rookie coming in and he's commanding the field like he's commanding, you know, you start looking like, what do we do? Do we play him now sooner than later? What do you think? How do you think that's going to play out with those two guys?
Man, ain't it crazy how ironic this is for Russell Wilson? Like, he just finds himself in this position. It's almost like the karma, poetic justice of how he took Matt Flynn's job day one, and now he sits in this position. And, look, I don't want to give it to Jackson Dart too early, just because once you give it to a rookie and if they don't take advantage of it, it's an awkward situation. You could undermine their confidence. It just gets weird. So you kind of want to make sure the veteran fizzles out, just dies there on the field, and then you say, all right, it's your turn. So there's a different amount of pressure on him. But Jackson Dart, that dude, when he got drafted, and cats were mad because obviously Shedeur wasn't drafted yet, and they were like, oh, Shedeur over him. I was like, look, I understand the Shedeur argument, but it don't have to be over him. Jackson Dart was in Ole Miss winning double-digit wins in the SEC, bowl games in the SEC, and made Ole Miss a thing, man. Dude got swag. Dude got game. He's a 2.0 quarterback. He can run. He's a lot, and he's going to get that job, I think, this year sometime.
All right, I got to ask you this. The hip-hop side of you, Clips album of the year. Did you go to the concert over the weekend?
That album is so perfect. And it's every level of life. It hits you from the bangers, and then it say, no, let me go deep. Then let's go to the next level of life, afterlife. He took it everywhere. That album is next level. The only album this year better than that is K-Pop Demon Hunters. That's the only, and if y'all ain't hip to that yet, I'm telling y'all better get on that little kids movie, all that stuff. It's next level.
Well, let me tell you this. You got to remember, because Kendrick released his album when he did, he too was also up for Album of the Year this Grammy cycle.
Well, hold on. Is he really?
Yes.
Let me do the math.
I'm telling you what it is.
Divided by 6 plus 2. He might be.
He is. It's not a might. So you either got to take the Clips or you got to take K-Dot.
GNX or the Clips album, which one's better?
Yep. Ooh, remember where you from. Remember where you from. Remember where you from, man.
I'm gonna tap out. I'm going K-pop. I'm going with the demon.
That's a wise man. That's a wise man.
And the
right
best
there.
part about it, Ephraim, it was close enough. Somebody here and they'll say, "Oh, he said K-Dot. He said K-Dot." That's what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, well, we appreciate you, big dog. As always, we got to get up soon, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Love you, man.
Mandatory.
It's my
Love
guy,
you,
man.
Family, man. Keep it going, guys.
Absolutely.
For sure. I would come over there and get on some
Right.
on some pickleball, but the way my knee is set up right now,
Oh,
he going to
no.
call the EMT. My knee been messed up since I met Marcellus. That's the worst part
That's
about
funny.
it. All right.